What's up, everybody? Dapper Jeff, your gamer chef, coming at you from my kitchen. I got to thinking, E3 was a couple weeks ago, and they unveiled some really cool things. As I'm thinking about video games and heroes, I like to think about the unsung and underappreciated characters. Characters like Luigi. I mean, Luigi has been in Mario's shadow since the 80s, but it wasn't until fairly recently he got his own line of games, Luigi's Mansion. And what with Luigi's Mansion 3 being announced at E3, I figure what better time to come up with the best Player 2 dish I can than right now. So come with me into my kitchen. I'm going to show you guys how to make a fantastic, low-cal Luigi lasagna. Alright guys, first thing we're going to want to do for our fantastic lasagna is get stuff ready. I've got my oven preheated to 375, as you can see right here. I've got some water boiling for the lasagna noodles, and I got some heat going under a pan for what we're gonna do first. All right guys, I've got some lean ground beef here, using the 85-15 ratio. It's 85% lean, 15% fat. It's also grass-fed for that extra little bit of awesome. I'm gonna take it right over here to my pan, put my spoon down. I'm going to put it in the pan, along with our Italian seasoning. Now, if you guys were using mushrooms in your dish, you'd put that in the pan as well. But right now, I just want to get this beef cooked. I want it, not like raw pink. I also want any liquid to evaporate. So, this is one of those rare instances where rare is not my friend. I want it, browned and delicious. Gonna want all that moisture gone, and I'm gonna let it cook here for a minute or two. All right, guys, I'm gonna let this meat brown, let some of this liquid evaporate, and I'll see you guys in just a minute. All right, guys. Now I know this is a Luigi-based lasagna. We're gonna add in a little bit of garlic. So, Luigi's got that wonderful pep to his step that makes him stand out from his brother. And this isn't just Luigi. It's Luigi and all the Player 2s out there. Back in the original Mario Brothers, Luigi was the very first, well, that I can remember anyway, Player 2 character. So my younger brother would always get stuck playing Luigi. And it was actually really cool to watch him grow as a gamer. And I'm gonna take a sidebar here, because now that our garlic is nice and aromatic, it only took about 30 seconds. I'm gonna grab our 28 ounces of crushed tomatoes, and pour that right in. Ooh, buddy. Turn down the heat. I'm gonna mix this all together, make a big mess. Nice and hot, too. Be on medium-high heat, not completely high heat. Sorry, guys. Doctor, are you okay? Okay. My silent cameraman. All right, I'm gonna let this simmer for just a second. I'm gonna wipe this up real quick, and I'll see you guys in a sec. All right, guys, so while we've got our tomatoes stewing and simmering, I'm going to grab our salt, sprinkle that in, mix that in, so it's not all salty in that one part of the dish, because that would not be cool. Mix that up a little bit. And at the same time, I'm also going to start adding in our 5 ounces of baby spinach. And I know a lot of you are like, Dapper Jeff, why are you mixing that in now? Very simple. I want the spinach to wilt. I want the heat to react, and I want it to get kind of limp and pliable, because we're going to put this in a lasagna. It's going to be fantastic. This is going to be like, people out there are going to look at this lasagna, they're going to be like, man, that's a lasagna. And it's all green, and it reminds me of Luigi. And I feel like I want to share it with all of my awesome Player 2 buddies. Because yeah, Luigi, the OG Player 2. Once you've gotten your 5 ounces of the spinach mixed in, just mix it together with the beef and the tomato sauce. And if you're using mushrooms, with that, like I said, let it wilt. It should take 3 to 4 minutes. This dish is going to be really spinachy, which is awesome, because I feel like I feel like Luigi and spinach spinach is like the Luigi of the vegetable world. It's often overlooked, but when you give it a chance to step front and center and kind of be the star of the show, it's really, really good. All right, so we look nice and wilted. I'm gonna kill the heat, and that's where I'm gonna mix in my ½ cup of basil. Again, green, fantastic, often overlooked, just like our buddy Luigi. So now that we've removed this from heat, I'm gonna move on to our next step, and I'll see you guys in just a minute. All right, guys, the next thing you're gonna wanna do is take 1 egg, crack it into a medium bowl, like so. Grab your pepper, sprinkle that in, and then take your ricotta cheese, part-skim, and that goes right in there as well. And now I'm gonna take my fork, and I'm just gonna beat all of this together until it is well blended. Yeah, I just blend this or beat this until it's well blended, which actually isn't gonna take very long. While all of this is going on, if you're smart and not like Dapper Jeff, you would have pre-boiled your water and have your lasagna noodles cooking, if not already done. All right, guys, now that the water's boiling, we're gonna put our lasagna noodles in, and I'm gonna set my timer for about 8 minutes. That should ensure a nice al dente to the pasta, so it's not super soft, but at the same time, it's not rigid and firm, like Luigi's Will to be Awesome in the upcoming Luigi's Mansion 3 for Nintendo Switch. Nintendo Switch, not a sponsor, yet. Luigi has always kind of been that overshadowed younger brother. And having never known what it was like to be an overshadowed younger brother, I actually do have a younger brother who was fairly overshadowed. I mean, look at me. I cast shadow over everybody. I am short and stout. I am Mario. Conversely, he's tall and lanky. He's Luigi. So no, a lot of this is actually kind of a dedication to him, as well as any of you awesome Player 2 characters and or younger siblings out there. I know, like I said, in the original Mario Brothers, it was, Player 1 was always Mario and 2 was Luigi. And it was actually really cool watching my brother, play even as Player 2, because he would watch what I did, figure out, okay, where did I mess up, and then, adjust his strategy. So, kind of watch him grow and learn and evolve as a gamer. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if I've ever really told him this or if I've told him this enough, but he's an awesome brother, and I wanted to do something in his name and his honor. So, hey TJ, this is for you. All right guys, so my timer just went off on these lasagna noodles. I'm gonna grab my oven mitt so I don't burn my hands, because I've already done that once today. Stupid tomatoes think they're so high and mighty. Bring this over to the sink. I'm gonna drain into a colander. Careful for the steam. Steam is hot and it will burn. So you also want to give it a quick rinse off with cold water. That way it stops the noodles from cooking, which is good because we don't want them to cook any more than they already are. And I'm gonna take them, put them back in the pot. And now we get to have some fun. I'm gonna put the pot over here, make some room. I'm gonna grab out a 9x13 baking dish. And I know what you guys are thinking. You're like, Dapper Jeff, how do you know the size? Well, if you look real careful, it actually says 9x13 right there. All right, guys, so we've got our lasagna, we've got our tomato mixture, we've got our baking pan. Now, the first thing you wanna do with your baking pan is grab your favorite non-stick cooking spray and just give it a light coating. You don't want your lasagna sticking to the pan, that wouldn't be fun. Next up, you're gonna take a ½ cup, this is my little measuring cup here, of your tomato mixture, your tomato and meat and spinach. And you're gonna lay that in on the base, as a base, and you're just gonna kind of spread it out a bit. I'm going to grab 3 noodles, and I want 1. And you're gonna lay them in horizontally like so. 2, 3, And I know what a lot of you are thinking. You're like, Dapper Jeff, what about this little little area right here? Well, my friends, that's when we grab one more noodle. We take it, and we rip it in half like a cook. Set that there. I'm gonna take this and we'll put this little guy back in the pot for now. Next thing, I'm gonna take a cup and a half of my tomato mixture. I'm going to spread it over my layer. Next up, we're going to take half of our ricotta mixture and just dots. So if you had a spoon, this would actually be a great time for that. I don't, I just have a fork. All right, and I'm gonna add in 3/4 of a cup of mozzarella cheese. I have 2 tablespoons of fresh Asiago. Now, if you don't like Asiago, if you prefer, Parmesan, you can do Parmesan. You need to grab a sheet of aluminum foil, tear it, wrap it over the top, crimp the edges if you like. All right, guys, so now that we've got our tin foil over the top, I'm gonna take our lasagna, I'm gonna open my 375-degree oven, I'm gonna take my lasagna, and I'm going to put it in the top rack, or the middle rack, or whichever rack you like. I'm gonna close the oven, I'm gonna set the timer for 50 minutes, that's just shy of an hour, and I'll see you guys then. But until then, don't forget to click subscribe, click like, ring that bell icon, and if you really like well-fed, click on the link in the description below to donate to our Patreon. I love you guys. All right, guys, so now that we've had our lasagna in the oven for about 50 minutes, I'm gonna pop the door, I'm gonna pull the lasagna out, set it carefully on the stove. Now at this point, you just wanna let it sit for about 15 minutes just so it can kind of cool off, and I'll see you guys then. All right, guys, now that we've let our lasagna cool for about 15-ish minutes, it's time for the unveiling. And now here's where the fun part is. Look at that. Look at how delicious that is. That looks. It smells heavenly. Okay, I can't wait to cut into this. All right, guys, so that's how you make a fantastic Luigi lasagna for your player 2. In fact, make it for your player 1. Player 2 and Luigi have been undersung long enough. Let Luigi rise. Rise of the player 2s. I'm Dapper Jeff. I'll catch you guys next week. But until then, grab some lasagna, go bust some ghosts, and stay well fed. Don't make me go all Mario on you, stomp you to the ground, and then make sure you don't have any kind of real recognition for decades.